Hi, I'm Maria DC. I'm an energy intuitive and a divine channel speaking through my higher self aspects as well as my higher realms. And I just wanted to take a minute today to talk to you about what is taking place on the earth plane as far as the energy is concerned, because there's a lot of more people out there that are feeling very angry, very frustrated. Some are feeling very lost. And I wanted to just discuss that today, as the energies have intensified over the last 2 months and are going to intensify as we move through the rest of this year. Part of what's taking place is that as the energies are intensifying on the earth plane, third dimension as we know it, which is a frequency, has left our physical earth surface. So we are no longer acting in, working in, playing in the vibration of third dimension. But some are still holding third dimension as a frequency in their energetic body. And as we are continuing to go through our spiritual evolution and journey, we are operating and have the ability to operate in the higher realms, the higher frequencies, if you will, like fifth dimension, seventh dimension, eighth dimension. However, if we are not matching our mental body, our thoughts, to those dimensional frequencies, then we are going to continue to hold on to and magnetize the thoughts that we have always existed with, which cannot serve a purpose for us any longer, as that dimensional frequency has left the earth plane. So it's this out of balance feeling that we are going through that is creating the frustration that we are having and potentially the anger that we are feeling. So what do I really mean by this? Our body is comprised of energy. We have an energetic field around us. We have a layer underneath that that is known as the aura. And through the existence of the aura, our body is made up of 7 internal energy centers known as chakras that actually combine to create the aura. And as we have those 7 internal chakras within our body, we also have 5 external chakras, and each chakra makes up a different dimension in our reality. So if you are operating in third dimension, you're actually operating from the solar plexus, because that is the third chakra in the body, and it's all about empowerment. So if you are feeling less than empowered these days and feeling very frustrated, very angry, maybe you're judging yourself as you also occasionally judge others, then you are feeding through that energetic center in the body, which is wanting to be healed at this time, as we now have access to align ourselves to a higher frequency in our solar system, or actually in our universe. So if you think about it in terms of moving beyond the frustration and the pain that you are feeling, it would then require that you let go of some of those old beliefs and programs that you may still be running that are holding you back. Thoughts like you can't possibly do this or do that because you don't feel that you have the power, or perhaps you have physical pain in your body that's been keeping you stuck, and that physical pain is the driving force for you believing that there is no hope, that you cannot manifest a different reality. But I'm here to tell you that that's not true, because you can manifest whatever reality that you are choosing to have as your new platform, your new method to access the realms that you actually are wanting to engage in for yourself. So to give you an example, I'll use myself. Back in 2013, I filed for a divorce from my husband. And at that time, I realized through the work that I do on a soul level that there was still contracts between us that were in existence that needed to be healed. Some of them contracts that I agreed to in order to help him ascend himself and move himself forward, because there were some issues that he was having on a personal level that were keeping him very stuck. And so through the process of stepping back out of the marriage, which had really ended many, many years before asking for the divorce, it gave me that much more space and room and time to do the work that I needed to, that got me to the place that I am in now. However, there were some key moments along the way for me that came up that I had a choice whether or not to engage in. And so one of those moments was through my mom passing. And so through my mom passing, I was not only experiencing myself going through a divorce, which I had asked for in March 2013, but I had also experienced my mom passing in June of 2013, 3 months later. And I really thought I was going to have her to kind of lean on as my rock for my support, but that wasn't the case. And I was running an office at that time in Bellport Village, where my rent and expenses were extremely huge, but I was very, very busy, booked out weeks and weeks in advance. It was very hard to get an appointment with me back then. And that was my mainstay of my existence. It was my work. I was in that flow, going to school for herbal medicine, seeing my clients and teaching at the time. And so I didn't realize that I was really in a place of despair, especially the last 3 or 4 years prior to asking for the divorce and being ready to move on. And one day, one of my clients, who is now my best friend and actually my housemate, came into my office, took a look at me, and at the time my hair was much, much longer. It was more wavy and curly, very more natural looking, and it had I had probably about 2 inches of gray roots, right? And she said to me, so what are we doing with that? And she wasn't yet my hairdresser. And I said to her, what do you mean? And she said, your hair. She goes, what are you doing? And I said, well, I don't know. What do you mean? I'm going the very natural route. I'm going to be an herbalist, and I'm just going to like hide in the forest somewhere, because that in that moment felt like my reality, as I was feeling the despair of everything that was taking place in my world, right? And she said, no, you're not. You're too young for that, and we need to do a little zhuzh up on you to get you back into some semblance of order here, because you don't look like you are talking. Your looks and your words are out of balance for you. And in that moment, I had a choice of either getting mad at her for speaking her truth to me, or owning it as my truth and seeing the value in the little gem, the little nugget that she was giving me. And so it wasn't too much after that another client of mine, who was very physically fit and in shape, happened to step forward and say, listen, I need sessions with you, and I want to know if you are interested in working out again, because I had worked out for many, many years prior to my marriage and had been in really good shape. And then like everything else, once that was starting to fade, I kind of let myself go. And I thought about that for a second, and I was kind of in resistance with that because working out is a job, right? It's a lot easier to go let somebody do my hair, right? Because I'm actually not having to facilitate the coloring of my hair. I'm letting somebody else do that for me. But in the sense of my own healing, in a physical sense, and working out, I was the one that was going to have to do the working out. And I was the one that was going to have to get up every day, make the changes, make the commitment, and do the healing that my body needed in order to take me out of that place that I was in, keeping me in despair. So I probably took about, I want to say 3 months to make the decision to finally start working out. And so I joined the gym and started to work out on a daily basis and become physically fit. And in the process, because I was taking responsibility for myself on all levels, I was actually feeling so much better. And then I realized I needed to make some more changes. And part of that was letting go of the office that was not really productive for me in many ways. And so I did. I let that go. And then as I was learning to fly, spreading my wings, I just used my universe to manifest the next office that was coming along. And before I knew it, having put it out there in the universe saying, hey, I need a new office showed up for me. And so I ended up working there in Bayport for a little while. And then when I was ready to move from there, and I could feel things shifting again as I was back on track, growing myself yet again, I put it out there again and said, hey, universe, I need a new office. And I just let things flow naturally, wasn't looking for anything again. And again, an office came to me, and it was a very magical place until recently. Until October of last year, right, 2018, when I recognized that it was time to leave the house that I was living in with my ex. And I realized in a moment, it was like a spontaneous moment that just came to me one day when I woke up that said, you need to go, you need to get out of here. This is no longer the safe haven that it's been. It's no longer the place where you could just coexist as friends, as roommates, grow yourself, go to school, continue to learn, continue to mentor. It meant that I was in need of a change, and it meant that I had to recognize that within myself that I was in need of a change. And what was coming to me was that if I continued to stay in that environment and live in that house, he was not going to step out and make the change that he was ready for, which was taking responsibility of his own life finally. And it also meant that I was not going to be able to step out and take responsibility for my life, but also at the same time grow my business in a new way and really understand from a very personal level what it was that I needed to be doing, teaching and sharing, which is part of the creation of this video, of my YouTube channel, and some new classes that I'm going to be rolling out. So it's all through me and my own work to move myself forward and not let myself be stuck in despair, anger, frustration at the loss of not only my marriage, but my mom, my office, and then, myself in the process. It was, no, we got to get up and go, and we got to do this because nobody is coming in to do this for us, right? I could go to the hairdresser and have the hairdresser give me a new look. But at the end of the day, my energy and my vibration and my frequency has to measure up to that new look in order for me to form consistency in my beingness of all that I am wanting to achieve for myself. It's just like working out. I didn't want to go work out. I didn't want to go to the gym. I was in complete resistance. And I do thank God for that individual pushing me constantly to go to the gym. Hey, how about today? No? All right. Hey, how about today? No? All right. And then finally I was just like, what the heck am I waiting for? Nobody is coming to save me. Nobody is changing bodies with me and giving me the body that I want. Nobody is going to make that happen for me but me. And that was my reality, my awakening, my aha moment in my truth, standing in my divine self, that it's always me. And I have the choice of where I want to reside. I could have stayed in victimhood, right, and played that out very, very well, not wanting a new hair design, not wanting my hair colored, staying in my pity party, feeling sorry for myself, and just aligning myself to the fact that, you know, my life was just that. It was the chaos that I was feeling. It was the anger that I was feeling. It was the resentment that I was feeling. But at the end of the day, all of that was being felt towards myself for not making better choices in my life, for not choosing a better path instead of the one that I had chosen. And yet when we think about it from that perspective where we're not aligning to our higher best self, we are aligning to what our soul chose to come in and do. Each time we run a crisis in our life, that crisis is here showing up as a wake-up call for all of us, right? When I had cancer, it was the first wake-up call because I wasn't paying attention to the world I was living in. And I was at risk of possibly departing the earth plane because my health was lacking severely. I was severely overweight, and I was in a state of despair, and I couldn't pull myself out no matter what I was doing. I was not paying attention. And then I thought I had it because I thought, I'm going to change my eating habits. I'm going to start working out. You know, that was back in 2000. And I'm going to do things that are going to be more in aligned with that. But it was still not enough. It was about changing my thoughts and my emotions, matching them together, bringing them to a higher frequency so that I could be in a higher realm of existence, operating on a higher dimension, letting go some of those distortions and programs that I was still running, those beliefs that I still held that were not serving me in any way, thinking that I was not good enough, I was not smart enough, I was not pretty enough, right? And up until just recently, I still held a lot of that in with my own fear of being seen, liking to be behind the scenes, wanting to be, you know, of service to anyone that wants to work with me in the capacity of a soul planning session, a soul healing session, a soul reading session, or maybe a healing for those distortions that are playing out, the old programs that are running, the places of lack that are still being held, the areas where we keep ourselves stuck and can't see our way out of the box that we have placed ourselves in. And so as I'm sitting here now, it's healing another aspect of myself, that fear of not wanting to be seen, the fear of persecution, all of that, all of the above in this moment now is allowing me to align to a higher aspect of myself as I am sharing all of this with you, right? This has been my life. This has been my story. I could take you way back into the past and share that with you as well. But, you know, I'm sure that you don't want to hear that because you're dealing with your own stuff. And so my hope with sharing this information with you is that you'll see that there is a way out of whatever it is that you're feeling. And the chances are that whatever it is that you're feeling isn't as monumental as your ego is telling you it is. Because that's what keeps us stuck. And that's what keeps us from moving forward, our ego. And our ego was created by us when we created our soul's blueprint for this incarnation. Our ego was a creation built by us to keep us separate from knowing ourselves as love, from loving ourselves in every moment, in every capacity. It's what tells us we're fat. It's what tells us we're ugly. It's what tells us we're not good enough. It tells us we're not smart enough. It brings fear into the picture in almost everything that you do on a day-to-day basis, right? I can remember times where I had a fear of walking into a store by myself. That was a creation of a distortion I was running from my childhood. Do I still hold that? No, because I've recognized that aspect of myself and have done a lot of work to heal that. And if we look at love, love is everything. Love is real. It's our reality. It's what we come together with. It's what we long for. And fear does not exist in any capacity. Fear does not exist in dream space, because those dreams that you're having that are fear-based, that are what we call nightmares, are actually the shadow aspects of yourself that you're running from fractals that we have carried into this lifetime, in this incarnation, to heal. So I want to encourage you to look more deeply at whatever's taking place in your world for you. Know that there is an opportunity for you to shift it. Know that there is an opportunity for you to have the change that you desire. And that change can be done through shifting your thoughts. And in relation to the thoughts, you will shift your emotions. And when you start to shift the two, you will release those magnetic attachments that you have very cleverly created for yourself that keeps you stuck on a day-to-day basis. So as you're navigating your reality from this moment on, everything that you are desiring for yourself can be attained by shifting your thoughts. If you are finding yourself tuning into what's on the TV and becoming fearful afterwards, turn the TV off. It's that simple. Release that program that is having you turn it on in the first place. This is how we do our healing. And then you'll find that those frequencies are no longer on your dial within your internal energetic system, and you can no longer tolerate the lower bandwidths that you have been carrying all of these years, because it feels better for you to be in a higher frequency and more aligned to a higher frequency. And this is when you'll notice that things in your life will begin to change, and people in your life will begin to shift. And you'll realign yourself with people in your life who are also of a higher vibration, of a higher frequency, that are doing things that are feeling better, feeling lighter, more beneficial. Maybe you'll find yourself going to more spiritual workshops, more spiritual classes, or aligning yourself to, doing your own spiritual work and finding your path and sharing, maybe through blogging. So whatever is taking place in your world today, notice that we have the opportunity to change. The energy is extremely fast-paced, can be shifted instantaneously once you make up your mind to do that, and can give you the life that you're looking for if you make the decision to let go of some of the things that you have believed that have kept you stuck. It's about you doing the work and letting go of the need for someone to come along and save you, because at the end of the day, even the best of healers cannot heal anyone. free will and it is in existence in the third and fourth dimension. And as long as we're operating through free will, while they may give you a spontaneous healing and help you heal in that moment, if you truly are not willing to heal and you want to stay stuck, because that's how you're choosing to play this game, then you will call that physical issue or illness back into your body and undo that healing. It's all up to us, right? So the only one who can save you at the end of the day is you. You have the power. You've had it all along. It's like Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. She didn't need the wizard. She thought she did, but she didn't need him because the power was within her all along. So I hope you'll think about some of the things that I've discussed here. I hope you will look at yourself in a new way and see your own power, your own beauty, and your own worth. And I hope that if you are struggling, you'll make some choices to make shift happen in your world. And for those of you who are already doing what you need to do to make the changes, to raise your vibration and raise your frequency and step into a new reality for yourselves, I'm so proud of you all for doing that and want you to just continue to enjoy the life that you are living, because it is, again, the reality that you are choosing, that we are all choosing. So I'm sending you lots and lots of love, and if nobody else has said it to you yet today, I love you. Have a great day. Thank you.